Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Carmen.
Hi, Julia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. How was your weekend?
Fine. Here at home.
What happened?
No, at home. We don't go out.
Oh, yeah. Same here. And now there's a big storm coming.
Yes. I
Mm.
hope it's okay.
Yeah, me too. I think maybe tomorrow we should know which direction it's going to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how is school going?
Fine. I think it would be okay. Will be okay. My son is doing okay. I think he's
Remind me how
nine.
old? 9. Mm-hmm.
9. Yeah. I
Yeah.
have friends that was complaining because they have a little one, so it's difficult, I think.
It's much harder because I have a 10-year-old, he's fine. And then my 7-year-old is so much work. It's unbelievable. Constantly, Mummy, I can't do this. Mummy, can you help me do this? I can't find my Zoom link. Oh, it's full on.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get used.
Imagine in kinder, I don't know how they do that because
No,
children so little, they
I
can't
don't
stay.
know how that's working. Impossible.
Yeah, I don't know.
But do you just have one child?
Yeah, I only have one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't imagine having small children or twins or any kind of complication. It'd be
Yeah.
really, really difficult. So
Yes.
we'll see how things go. I'm sure it will
Yeah.
get easier once we kind of settle into it and get used to
Yeah.
it. Hopefully,
When they get used to it to do every day, I think it would be
yeah,
easier for them.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Crazy. What are things like back at home in Mexico? What's the situation there?
In my state, it's difficult. They are in red. There were many people dying, and they are close everything still.
How about
But
your
I hope,
family? Is everyone in your family okay?
yeah, they are okay.
Good. Yeah, very difficult. Um, I thought your homework was awesome. You did
Uh,
such a good job. Really
I
impressive.
I think I have to practice the writing because there are so much um, grammar issues, right?
But not really. I thought it was really good. And you've got some great vocabulary, and all of your like your topic sentence and your thesis statement, they were all fantastic. So I was very impressed.
Thank you.
Here comes Yang. Hi,
Yeah.
Yang. Hi.
Hi, Miss Julia. How are you?
How good? How are you?
Yeah, good. Sorry, be late.
It's okay. How was
Yeah.
your weekend?
Good.
Good. Did you
Pretty
do
good. Yeah.
anything?
Huh?
Did you do anything over the weekend, or were you just at home?
I just walk around and around.
Okay, good.
Yeah, take a relax.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
Good. Well, it's nice to see you both. So I think Christina will come late, or maybe not at all, but she will be with us on Wednesday. So we should just continue with the lesson without her. So I was just talking to Carmen about the homework, and you both did a good job. Well
Thank you.
done. So, Yang, you received my corrections?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. So if you have any questions, both of you, if you don't understand why I corrected something like that, you can just send me an email or ask me during class. Is fine. So please let me know if you don't, anytime if you don't understand why I correct something. Okay.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you.
Good. You're welcome. So today I'll show you what we're going to do. So we're going to finish Unit 1 today. So we're going to talk about whether opposites attract in friendship and relationships. Then we're going to do some grammar. We're going to learn about gerund and infinitive constructions and some RE verbs. And then we're going to read about technology and friendship. So those are our aims for today. So let's start by discussing, do you know this expression, opposites attract?
Yes.
Yes? What does it mean?
That's someone who is different from you that it's supposed to be attracted to, right? I don't know.
Right. And what do you think? Do you think it's true?
I think, yeah, it could be.
Could be. Do you think it's the same in friendship as in relationships? Like with your girlfriend or boyfriend? Is it can opposites attract in both of those? What do you think?
I think, I don't know.
Not sure. What do you think, Jan?
And I don't know what to talk about the attract.
Attract, so when people are attracted to each other. So I am attracted to my husband. I find him attractive. So we're saying sometimes opposite people can attract. So maybe someone is very shy, they don't like meeting people, but then another person is very outgoing and sociable. And can they be attracted to each other or not?
Okay, thank you. Understood.
What do you think?
I think it could possibly be attracted because it's something different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's more, I don't know how to say it. Like you say, it's something, someone is shy and the other person is more outgoing, or is maybe you are gonna be thinking of this person that maybe complete what you don't have. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. So the things that you don't have,
Yeah.
you look for in somebody else.
Somebody else, yeah.
Maybe. Yang, the spelling is like this. Oh, attract. You can see that. So I think he's frozen. Yeah.
Yes, I think.
He'll come back. Let me see. He's gone. Hopefully he'll come back. Carmen, did you manage to print the video worksheet?
Yes,
You have it? Okay, awesome, because we're going to look.
In fact, I received already my book.
Ah, you got the book. So you've got everything that you need.
Yeah.
Great. Let me make a note of that. Hi. You're back again.
I'm back.
Good. So I was saying the spelling is like this.
Oh, attract. Oh, understood.
Okay.
Okay.
Attract. So Yang, did you manage to print the video worksheet that I sent you?
Yes, like this one?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Good. Because we're going to watch a video soon.
Oh,
So if you
good.
take a look at the worksheet and this section before you watch the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at A. What do people need to have in common for a harmonious relationship? Choose the 3 most important things partners should share in your opinion. So what is a harmonious relationship? What does that mean?
That can be together without problems or
Yes.
with any issue.
Yes, exactly.
Get along well.
They get along well, maybe they don't fight, they don't argue, they can live comfortably together. They can live in harmony. So harmonious, living in harmony. Yeah. So here we have some different things. So we have cultural background, hobbies and interests, your outlook on life. What does outlook mean?
For future?
Kind of. It's the way that you see life.
Point of view?
Point of view. Yes, exactly, Carmen. Your point of view. So your outlook on life. For example, I am a very optimistic person. I always think good things are going to happen. So my outlook on life is very good, is optimistic. But my husband, for example, his outlook is completely the opposite. He always thinks something bad is going to happen. We're all going to get coronavirus. The storm is going to hit us. So he has a different outlook on life. Okay. Past experiences. Your personality type. What is your personality type?
The characteristics that you have as a person, I don't know.
Yeah, so maybe you are a very outgoing, sociable person, or maybe you're a very shy, quiet person. So that's your personality type. Your political views, religion, your tastes in books and movies, and your values. What's important to you? What do you value in life? So have a look at those and choose what you think are the 3 most important things that partners should have in common. They should both have these things. So you decide. Excuse me. Okay, so Yang, what do you think?
The way I see the most important thing partners should share is hobbies, personality type, and values.
Okay, so they should have similar hobbies.
Yeah.
They should be similar types of people, have the same kind of personality, and also similar values.
Yes.
Why did you pick those 3 things?
Because I think the hobbies and the interests will make us close. When we will do the things together and get the happiness together. For the personality type, I think that's the other one important point. I think everyone have different personality. This is very important for us to stay comfortable, I think, with each other.
Yeah.
And the last one is values. I think this one is maybe for the attitude and for doing anything we hope and we expected good or not. We were on the same page to do the work or in the life. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so if you have the same values, you can work together well, or you can live together well.
Yes.
Okay, great. Do you agree, Carmen, or did you have different things?
Yes, I put hobbies, interests, values, and also cultural background. That could be easier, I think, if you have same cultural background, it would be easier, but it's not that you can go with someone who doesn't share that, but I think would be better.
Helpful. It would be better if you share the same background. Okay, interesting. I agree with you both. So we're going to watch a video. There's some vocabulary that you should know first. So let me show you. So let me see. Can you see that? So the first one, admire.
Yes.
To admire. What does that mean if you admire someone?
Is my idol.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
They're your idol.
Really look for these people or what he does or she does.
Yes.
You know, something really good that you see in them.
Exactly. So you admire them because you think they're great for their personal qualities, or for some reason you respect them and you admire them. How about this one? We can pronounce this in two ways. If it's a verb, we say rebel. We rebel against someone or something.
Rebel.
What does that mean, to rebel?
Like fight, but not the same.
Yeah, like to fight against the rules. So for example, maybe you have a teenager and you say you have to be home by 10 p.m. and then they say, I'm not listening to you, and they come back at midnight. They are rebelling. So rebelling, yeah. So they are rebelling against your rules. So that is the verb, to rebel. But if we use it as a noun, we say rebel. So the emphasis is on at the beginning of the word for the noun. So rebel is the noun and rebel is the verb. So a rebel is somebody who rebels against the rules. So your teenager is a rebel. Okay.
Okay.
Sloppy. What does sloppy?
Sloppy.
Sloppy. It can kind of have two meanings. So if you're talking about sloppy food, it means it's kind of like a liquid. It can oh, be careful, this paint is very sloppy. It means it might spill. So it goes like this. But if somebody is sloppy, it means they're not very smartly dressed. Maybe they're a bit scruffy. They like the kind of laid back look, maybe with torn jeans and kind of very casual. So sloppy. It's not not formal, not at all formal. And a sloppy person is probably very laid back. Do you know this word, this laid back? Very relaxed, very casual. Yeah. And then we have the verb to compromise. What does it mean to compromise?
Explain compromise.
Yeah, to agree on something. So you have to compromise when one person wants one thing and the other person wants something different. You have to come to a compromise. You have to find a middle place where you can both be happy. So that is compromise. You give something and I give something, and then we're both happy. Okay. And then the last one is to fall for someone. To fall for someone. What does that mean?
To be in love, or?
Yeah, to fall in love with somebody. So, oh, I fell for this very handsome guy in the restaurant. It means you really like him. You saw him and you really liked him. Okay. Any questions about that vocabulary?
No.
So, all okay now? Good?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would like to do is I'd like us to read the questions so you know what information to look for in the video. Excuse me. And then when we watch the video, I don't want you to try to answer the questions. It's too much information. Just watch and try to understand. And then we'll go back to the questions. And if we need to, we can watch the video again. So let's look at the questions. So number one is, what do experts think people need to look for in friendship and love relationships? So what do people need when they're looking for love? Okay. Number two, what may be the differences that are attractive at first? What may the differences that are attractive at first cause a couple to do later on? So something you find attractive when you first start seeing somebody might change your behavior later. And number three, why is it harder for people with opposite personalities to form a relationship? Do you understand those three questions? Any questions about the questions?
The second one, I don't know.
Okay, what may the differences that are attractive at first cause a couple to do later on? So in the video it talks about how sometimes at the beginning you're attracted to someone who is different from you. They have differences, but later in the relationship that causes problems. So what problems does it cause? Okay. Okay. And then in B, we have these different kind of characters. So we have the good girl, the laid back artist, the outgoing boyfriend, and the type A businesswoman. What does that mean? If you're a type A business person, what does it mean?
Easy.
Like very smart, and I don't know.
Yes, very smart, very competitive, very ambitious, very organized. So like high achieving workaholic business people. They work all the time. Okay. So what we'll do after we watch the video, we will try to match these people with who they should or should not have a relationship with. So for example, number one, who should find someone with relaxed energy, who is not a good match for a shy partner, etc. So we will do that afterwards. And then the next one, choose the correct answer according to information in the video. So research shows that people may admire, so they look up to people like them, expert opinions, or people who have skills they lack. Do you know the word lack in C?
That you don't have?
They don't have, yeah. So if you lack something, you are missing something.
Okay.
Number 2, we need to date people whose something are similar to our own. So experiences and values, personality and attitudes, and religious and political beliefs. And then number 3, people on dating websites usually decide to go out with people who are something them. So they complement them, means they give something that adds to them. They are similar to them, or they're the opposite of them. Number 4, if you end up dating someone who's your opposite, you should A, remember to reconnect after arguments, B, say goodbye, or C, examine the differences in your attitude and personality. 5, differences in views on things like politics and movies are usually differences in attitude, personality, or values. And then number 6, once opposite personalities clash, it may be harder for them to A, reconnect with each other, B, rehash old times, or C, share relaxed energy. What does rehash mean? Do you know? If you rehash something, you talk about it a lot. So it may be more difficult for them to talk about old times, things that they've done in the past. Okay. So I will play the video. Just relax and watch. Please don't try to answer any questions, okay? So let me get it in the right place, and then I'll share my screen. Okay, let me share my screen. So, can you see that?
When it comes to friendship and
Yes.
the opposite of friendship. You probably recall seeing this a million times in the movies and on TV. The good girl who keeps falling for the rebel. Or the sloppy guy who always seems to end up with the neat roommate. The shy young woman who tends to be drawn to the outgoing boyfriend. Or the laid-back artist who prefers dating the type A businesswoman. It makes for good movies. But in real life, do opposites really enjoy being together? And even more important, do they really bring the best out in each other and make for harmonious friendships, relationships, and marriages? The answer is no. Or usually not, according to the experts. Sometimes opposites really do attract. Social scientists say that we sometimes admire people who complement us, who have skills or traits that we lack. Someone who can help us get through life more easily. But more often, in friendships and in love relationships, we look for someone who is just like us. We need to date people who share our values, our outlook on life, and our experiences. On online dating sites, for example, people often say they expect to date someone who is their opposite. But studies show that the people they decide to go out with usually have personalities that are very similar to their own. But what if you begin dating someone and then realize they're really opposite from you? Should you give it up? Or can that relationship work? Social scientists might suggest rethinking that relationship, because all those differences that attracted you at first will likely cause you to clash and drift apart later on. But before you consider saying goodbye to your boyfriend or girlfriend, this may cheer you up. When it comes to opposites, there's a big difference between attitudes and personality. People can have opposite attitudes about many things, from big things like religion or politics to little things like movies and wall colors, and still continue to have a great relationship. But people who have opposite personalities, well, that's a little more difficult because they're more likely to clash. It's much harder for opposite personalities to empathize with one another, to reconnect after arguments, and to handle all the little compromises that relationships require. So, in the end, the good girl should probably do without her rebel boyfriend and start looking for a nice guy. The laid-back artist should try to run into someone who shares his relaxed energy. And that shy young woman, she may want to be on the lookout for an equally shy young man.
Okay, so what I would like you to do is to try to answer the question, and then we'll watch it one more time afterwards. So if there's any gaps, you can fill it in. Okay, so I'll give you some time just to answer. How are you doing? Do you need more time? So we're just doing while you watch, not after you watch. So just ABC.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll play it again. And so if you still have some things you need to answer, you can check. Okay.
When it comes to friendship and love, they say opposites attract. You probably recall seeing this a million times in the movies and on TV. The good girl who keeps falling for the rebel. Or the sloppy guy who always seems to end up with the neat roommate. The shy young woman who tends to be drawn to the outgoing boyfriend. Or the laid-back artist who prefers dating the type A businesswoman. It makes for good movies. But in real life, do opposites really enjoy being together? And even more important, do they really bring the best out in each other and make for harmonious friendships, relationships, and marriages? The answer is no. Or usually not, according to the experts. Sometimes opposites really do attract. Social scientists say that we sometimes admire people who complement us, who have skills or traits that we lack. Someone who can help us get through life more easily. But more often, in friendships and in love relationships, we look for someone who is just like us. We need to date people who share our values, our outlook on life, and our experiences. On online dating sites, for example, people often say they expect to date someone who is their opposite. But studies show that the people they decide to go out with usually have personalities that are very similar to their own. But what if you begin dating someone and then realize they're really opposite from you? Should you give it up? Or can that relationship work? Social scientists might suggest rethinking that relationship, because all those differences that attracted you at first will likely cause you to clash and drift apart later on. But before you consider saying goodbye to your boyfriend or girlfriend, this may cheer you up. When it comes to opposites, there's a big difference between attitudes and personality. People can have opposite attitudes about many things, from big things like religion or politics to little things like movies and wall colors, and still continue to have a great relationship. But people who have opposite personalities, well, that's a little more difficult because they're more likely to clash. It's much harder for opposite personalities to empathize with one another, to reconnect after arguments, and to handle all the little compromises that relationships require. So, in the end, the good girl should probably do without her rebel boyfriend and start looking for a nice guy. The laid-back artist should try to run into someone who shares his relaxed energy. And that shy young woman, she may want to be on the lookout for an equally shy young man.
Okay. So let's take a look. So number one, what do experts think people need to look for in friendships and love relationships?
To look someone who share your values, your outlook of life and experiences.
Exactly. So someone who is like you, someone similar to yourself, who shares your values, your outlook on life, and your kind of experience that you've had. So someone like you. Number 2, what may the differences that are attractive at first cause a couple to do later on?
That this difference can make them clash.
Yes,
and
clash.
Then
C-L-A-S-H, like this, clash. So they can make you clash or drift apart. So at the beginning, you like the differences, but later it becomes a problem. Why is it harder for people with opposite personalities to form a relationship?
That they can empathize, or I don't know how to pronounce that.
That's right,
Easily.
empathize.
Empathize easily.
Yes. So this is the word, empathize. It looks like this.
Yeah.
Empathize. So yeah, if they're very, very different personalities, they can't empathize with each other. They can't understand each other. They can't understand how the other person is feeling about something. What else? They can't.
Like more like it's difficult for them to reconnect if they fight or
Yes. So if they have an argument, if they fight, then afterwards it's much harder for them to reconnect with each other. And it's also harder for them to compromise, to come to an agreement with each other. They don't want to give up the things that are important to them. So it's harder. Any questions about A?
no.
All okay? Yang, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at B. So number 1, who should find someone with relaxed energy?
The laid-back artist.
Yes, the laid-back artist. Definitely should find someone like him with a very relaxed, laid-back energy. Yes. How about number 2? Who is not a good match for a shy partner?
The outgoing boyfriend?
Yeah, the outgoing person is not good for a shy person. Number 3, who is better off dating a business person?
Good girl.
D, yes, the type A businesswoman. She should look for another business person like her. Yeah. How about number 4? Who would enjoy being with a highly social person?
The outgoing boyfriend.
Yes, definitely the outgoing person. Who is preferred by the laid-back artist but is not a good match?
The type I businesswoman.
Yes, so the laid-back artist is attracted to the type A businesswoman, but it's not a good combination. It's not a good thing. Number 6, who might fall for the rebel? Who would fall in love with the rebel?
The good girl.
The good girl, but it's not a good idea. And number 7, who may feel a business person has traits that are helpful? I think this one is the laid back artist.
Laid back.
So because they're so laid back, they think that the businesswoman who's very organized and ambitious, they like that, but it's not a good combination. And the last one, who will have a harmonious relationship with a nice person?
The good girl.
The good girl, yes, definitely the good girl. Okay, and then over the page, so research shows that people may admire who?
People who have skills they lack.
Yes, they lack.
Exactly. So the things that you are missing, you admire those in other people. Yes. So the answer is C. Number 2, we need to date people whose what are similar to our own.
Experience and the values.
Yes, experiences and values. Someone who has similar experiences and values to you. Number 3, people on dating websites usually decide to go out with people who
are the opposite of them.
It's actually are similar to. So people say that they're attracted to their opposites. But
Okay.
in reality, when people look at dating websites, when you look at the data, usually people choose someone who is like them.
Similar. Okay.
So the answer is similar to B. If you end up dating someone who is your opposite, you should
examine the difference in attitude and personality.
Yes, so the film was saying that if you have differences in attitude, that's okay. You might clash, but you can work things out. But if you have a difference in personality, it's much harder. Your differences are much bigger and they're part of you. So that's more difficult. So if you're with somebody who's your opposite, you need to discuss, is it our opposite attitudes or opposite personality that is the problem? Yes. Okay, number 5, differences in views on things like politics and movies are usually differences in
Values.
Attitude?
Attitude, I think. In attitude. Yes. Yeah. And once it's difficult, that one. I think the answer is attitudes, but I think values also, because if you have very strong political beliefs, for example, your values are very much part of your political beliefs. So I think attitude, values is fine. Yeah. And once opposite personalities clash, it may be harder for them to
reconnect with each other.
Yeah, to reconnect. If they have a big fight or a big argument, it's harder for them to reconnect. So there we go. What do you think? Do you agree?
Yeah. Yes.
You agree? What about you, Yang?
Yes.
Yeah? Agree.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So let's move on now to some grammar. And we're going to talk about gerunds and infinitive. Do you know what the infinitive form of a verb is? What are we talking about when we say the infinitive form of a verb? It's the to form. So when we say to walk, to read, to talk, that is the infinitive. So to do something.
Do something.
Is the to form, the to form of the verb is the infinitive. How about the gerund? What do we mean by the gerund form? You know?
To doing something that you are doing?
It's the ing form.
Yeah.
So walking, talking, sitting, standing, that is what we call the gerund, the ing form. So let me just write that. So we have the to form here, that is the infinitive, and the ing form, which is the gerund. So to sit or sitting, to stand, standing. Okay. And what happens in English is that sometimes we need to use two verbs together, and the form of the first verb decides the form of the second verb. So for example, let me show you this. We decided to go to Arizona, but we enjoyed going to Arizona. So here we have, I can't get it in the right place. So the first one uses the infinitive form, the to form. So we say to go. We don't say we decided going to Arizona. And the second one uses the gerund form, the ing form. So we enjoyed going to Arizona. We don't say we enjoyed to go to Arizona. And how do we know which one to use? And it depends on the first verb, the first one. So the first verb tells you what form to use for the second verb. Okay, so there are three different categories. There are verbs that always have the infinitive form after them. There are the second category, verbs that always have the gerund form after them. And then the third category are verbs which can take either one. They can take the gerund form or the infinitive form. So let me share my screen and I'll show you what I mean. Get rid of this. Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so gerund and infinitive constructions. So the gerund is the ing form and infinitive is the to form. So these verbs are normally followed by a gerund: appreciate, consider, enjoy, give up, keep, put off, or suggest. So for example, they're considering starting a company team. So the verb to consider is always or usually followed by a gerund. Another one, to enjoy. So I enjoy drinking coffee. I enjoy drinking, not I enjoy to drink. Okay. So another one which is not on this list is plan. So for example, I am planning, no, sorry, not plan, regret. So I regret drinking all that wine yesterday. So not I regret to drink. It sounds strange. I regret drinking. Okay. So those are verbs that are followed by the gerund. Then the next one, these verbs are normally followed by an infinitive. So the to form: ask, decide, expect, intend, need, refuse, theme, and tend. So I never expected to meet so many nice people. Or I need to go to the shop. not I need going to the shop. Okay, I need to go. Does that make sense so far?
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And then the third category, these ones here, these are verbs that can take either one. Begin, bother, continue, hate, prefer, start. So for example, last month I started taking a cooking class, or last month I started to take a cooking class. You can use either one, Okay. Now, unfortunately, this is another situation where there is no rule. There is no rule. But 95% of verbs take the infinitive form. So most verbs, you can use the infinitive. So the ones that it's useful to learn are these ones, the ones that are take the gerund afterwards, because there's not so many of those ones. So if you know those ones that always take the ing form, then that's great. And the rest of them, you can use the to form. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yang, you don't have the book, do you?
No, I don't have the book.
I have the book. Okay, so for you, I think it would be useful if you make a chart, like this. So with 3 columns, just like this.
Yeah.
And then, so you have verb plus gerund.
Yeah.
Verb plus an infinitive, and then verb plus either. And I think it would be useful to write these verbs down, because
Yes.
Carmen, or take a photo or something.
Yes.
But Carmen, you have the book, so you can refer to the book. But for you, Yang, I think it's useful to write them.
Yeah, I'll take a screenshot.
Okay, so that you can see.
Thank you.
And then this last point here is infinitives and gerunds can also occur in the passive voice, and they follow the pattern subject plus verb, and then depending on whether you use the gerund or the infinitive, you use being or to be, and then the past participle. So for example, instead of saying my co-workers kept inviting me, we would say I kept being invited by my co-workers to a lunchtime yoga class. Or instead of saying she, that's a slightly trickier one, but in the passive voice, she asked to be chosen for the job, because ask is followed by the infinitive. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I would like you to do, here we have some text. I would like you to take your time to read this text and see which form of the verb is the correct form, okay? If you find any vocabulary that you don't know, please ask me and I'll explain it to you. So for example, in line 2, it says 1 or 2 good friends rather than lots of acquaintances. Do you know what an acquaintance is? This word?
No.
No?
No.
Yes, so an acquaintance is somebody who you know a little bit, but not so much, not very well. So they're not a good friend of yours. They're just somebody that you know a small amount. Okay. So take your time to read this and choose the right form of the verb, but ask me if you don't know any of the vocabulary. Okay. Okay, let's take a look. So I've never been a really popular guy. I'm the type of person who tends tend to have one or two good friends rather than lots of acquaintances. Well, when I moved away from my hometown after getting a job in Denver, I really needed to make some new friends. Because I'm shy, I considered changing, yes. So the verb to consider is followed by the gerund. So I considered changing my personality to become more outgoing, but that was very difficult for me. Just the same, I didn't give up trying. Yes, I didn't give up trying. I decided to create a new image for myself. I bought myself some new shoes, new clothes, and I even got a new haircut and started... Both of them, yes. Started to wear contact lenses or started wearing contact lenses. They're both correct. Both are fine. However, it didn't seem to change anything. I was beginning to regret.
Leaving.
So the verb to regret is followed by the gerund. So regret leaving my hometown when all of a sudden I got a call from my old friend Jim. He was planning
to move.
To move. So the verb to plan is followed by the infinitive, planning to move here pretty soon. He wanted some advice about finding an apartment in the city, and I suggested sharing an apartment with me. Well, he agreed. I really enjoy having someone to spend time with, and together we've made a lot of new friends. Okay?
Okay.
Great. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. So that is infinitive and gerund construction. Okay. Any questions about that before we move to the next thing?
No.
No? All okay? Okay. Now we're going to look at RE verbs. So take a look at this. We have some verbs here. The verb to paint and to repaint. The verb to make and to remake. So what do you think the prefix RE means?
Do it once again?
Yes, to do something again. Yes, exactly. Do something again. So I paint the walls. Now I need to do it again. I repaint the wall. So if we put RE before a verb, usually it means to do something again. It can also mean to kind of return back. So for example, return is to turn back to a place, for example, to return to a place. Okay, now sometimes it's not a prefix. We have many English words that just begin with RE. For example, regular. That does not mean gula again. It just begins with RE. So sometimes RE is not a prefix, but when it is a prefix, it means to do something again. So let me get to the right place. I'll show you in the book. Here we go. Let me share my screen. So here, okay. So here we have some RE words. So rebuild, to build something again. To recall, to reconnect with somebody. So after a fight, we reconnect. To redefine, so to define something again. Rehash, this is a word that we found during the video. So to rehash something is to talk about something a lot, something that's happened, okay? To rekindle, do you know the word kindle? Kindle is like to start a fire. So to rekindle a relationship is to get the fire going again in a relationship. To replace something or to resurface something. So you need to put a new surface on something. So let's see which ones fit well in these sentences. So for example, you can rekindle old friendships by sharing memories. It's a good way to start up old friendships again. You can rekindle them by sharing memories. How about number 2? Don't something old arguments over and over. Which one would be a good word to go in there?
Rehash?
Yes, don't rehash old arguments. Don't keep talking about arguments over and over. So the answer is E. Number 3, people often something themselves, but they're essentially the same.
Redefine?
Redefine, yes. So maybe they change their hairstyle or they wear different clothes, but really they're just the same. So people often redefine themselves, but they're essentially the same. How about number 4? A close friend is impossible to
Replace?
replace.
Replace.
Replace. You can't replace an old friend. Okay. How about number 5? Can you something the first time you met your best friend?
Recall?
Recall, which means remember. Can you remember? Can you recall the first time you met your friend? Friends you think are gone forever sometimes resurface. They come to the surface again. So they re-emerge unexpectedly. Number 7, visit your hometown and reconnect with your roots. Yeah. Reconnect with your roots. It takes time to rebuild. Yes, it takes time to rebuild a damaged friendship. Yeah. So that is RE verbs. They mean to do something again. Okay. Any questions about RE verbs?
No.
No? Okay. Let me stop sharing screen. Okay, so we have 20 minutes left. I would like to finish Unit 1 today, but we have 2 exercises left to do. So I'm going to give you a choice which one you want to do. The first one is a discussion about maintaining relationships. How do you maintain relationships? And the second one is a reading exercise about social media and how that affects friendships. So which one would you prefer to do? Would you like to have a discussion or a reading exercise?
No.
You don't mind?
What do you want?
What would you like?
Yeah,
Let's do...
What do you recommend?
What do I recommend? Well, I think that in the reading exercise, there's some new vocabulary. I think this discussion is talking a lot about the same kind of things that we've been discussing already. So let's take a look at a reading exercise.
Okay.
So first of all, let's talk about how do you use social media in your friendships? What social media sites do you use, and are they helpful for friendship?
Well, yeah, I use Facebook.
Yeah.
To see some friends and to know about their lives.
Yeah.
And sometimes, yeah, to see people that haven't seen in many years, or I don't know, that they live in other places.
Yeah, I agree.
Instagram too, but but I'm just not post anything.
Yeah.
I just follow them. I see, and sometimes I post something, but really a little. I don't know. I'm just using to see my friends, and sometimes I comment when they post, but personally, I don't like to post a lot of things.
Yeah, me too. Some people post about every small thing they do. But yeah, I'm the same. I like to see, but I don't post.
Yeah.
How about you, Yang? What social media sites do you use?
But now I'm using the WhatsApp and the Facebook.
Yeah, WhatsApp and Facebook. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I can contact with the other country friends with WhatsApp and Facebook. But I have to yeah. But in China we can't use Facebook because we in China we use the WeChat to contact with each other.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the social media for us to contacting with each other is perfect. Maybe we have some friends we don't connect each other usually, but we can see the photo.
Yeah.
According to the social media, we will know how's it going in their life and what's going on the work and all about this. Maybe we.
I completely agree with you. I think it's you're exactly right. And one of the things that I like about Facebook, for example, is you can have a lot of friends, and you don't need to spend a long time writing emails or trying to have a kind of deep friendship with everybody. You can just comment on a photo or put a like sign or something, and it's just a way of keeping in touch with a lot of friends who otherwise I would not have any contact with them.
Yeah.
So I think I love Facebook for that reason, just to see how people are doing and without too much effort.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so let me find the article and I'll share my screen. Here we go. Right. Okay. So Carmen, you can read it here or in your book, whatever you like. So let's read this together. So how social media friends translate into real life friendship. Okay. So when social media first gained attention, what does that mean, to gain attention?
Like was known or was being famous or
exactly. To become known, to become famous, when people started talking about it. Yeah. So when social media first gained attention, I heard many people say online connections could not possibly be real friends. So it's not possible to have real friends that you meet online. Some even feared that people might trade face-to-face interaction for a virtual life online. So what does that mean? They feared people might trade face-to-face interaction for a virtual life.
That changed the face-to-face personally be with someone to prefer being virtually.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So instead of having real friendships and real relationships, instead they would only have relationships with virtual people. Yeah. But now the majority of the people I know consider at least some of their online friends to be like extended family. So your extended family are like your relatives, your relations, not your immediate family, not your husband or wife and children, it's other people in your family. So now some people kind of consider their online friends as part of their big family, which made me wonder, does social media actually encourage people to connect in real life? So is it possible to have a virtual friend who becomes a real friend in real life? Okay, so one example of online life translating into real life interaction happens on Mashable's Social Media Day. I don't know what Mashable is. I'm not sure. When thousands of people attend in-person meetups to celebrate the power of online connections. So these are people who have met online, but on this day, Social Media Day, they meet up together in real life to celebrate kind of virtual friendships.
Friendship.
Yeah. So another example is location-based apps that help users connect face-to-face by allowing them to see who else has checked in at the same store or restaurant or party, or even who is living in a city they plan to visit. They might then decide to seek each other out in real life. So there are these apps where maybe you go to a restaurant and you think, let's see who else is in this restaurant, and you check your app, and then it tells you if somebody else who is also on the app is in the restaurant at the same time as you, and then you can go and meet them in real life.
Yes. Well, my friend, his wife, his wife is at the first, his wife is online friend.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
So they found love through online.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we have a Pew Internet and American Life Project report found that people using social networking sites have more close relationships and receive more support than other people. They are also more likely to reconnect with old friends and use social networking to keep up with those they are already close to. So this is what we're talking about, that using Facebook and other social media sites, you can connect with old friends and you can keep in touch with a lot more people, and you get more support from all of those people. So other research shows that social media may also make deeper what could otherwise be passing relationships. What is a passing relationship?
Don't last, or?
Yeah, it doesn't last. It's just like a quick friendship or a quick relationship, and then you go on. Okay, so this research is saying actually social media can help it to be not a passing relationship, to be a stronger relationship. So a study by Dr. Ray Junko, don't know how you pronounce that, found okay, found that college students who interacted with each other and their professors on Twitter were more likely to meet outside class to study together. They also developed unexpected real-life connections and were also more likely to ask questions in class. So maybe they have some interactions on Twitter, and then they feel more confident. So when they go to class, they can talk to each other and they can ask questions because they already know each other a little bit. So here he says, what I find most fascinating, most interesting, is that I've consistently seen that students who start a course being more introverted, do you know introverted? Shy, quiet. Yeah. Not, and those people who are not speaking up during class discussions become more extroverted and participate more when they're encouraged to communicate through social media with their professors and their classmates. So if you encourage people to connect on social media, then in a real situation in the classroom, they feel more comfortable to talk. Yeah. However, if social media does increase the likelihood of real life interaction, it can also sometimes complicate it. So when fans of social media meet face to face, their computers and mobile devices may actually make the meeting less productive, because instead of looking at each other, they may be glued to their screens. It means they're too busy looking at their phones instead of talking to each other face to face. So what do you think? First of all, are there any words in here that you would like me to explain?
No.
No.
No? All okay? Okay.
No.
All good. So let me stop share. So what do you think? Do you agree that social media can help friendships, or is it not good for friendships?
No, I think it can help a lot, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you use it right, I think. I always just have my friends that really know. I'm gonna set someone who I don't know anything. I don't know. So I am trying to do like a safer, I don't know, rate or connection.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think it helps to get in touch to your friends that you don't, sometimes you are not living in the same place, and to get in touch with their lives or what happened with them.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Yang? Do you agree?
Yes, I think the social media now is a part of our life.
Yeah.
We can't live without social media now.
No.
Yeah, it's good for us to connect any of my friends at any time.
Yeah.
I think that, this is our life now.
I agree. And right now, during coronavirus, when it's not possible to meet with our friends, social media is especially important right now. So yeah, I feel, and for my family as well, I'm sure it's the same for you, because we live so far from our families. If we didn't have social media and technology like Zoom, Skype, we would feel very isolated from our families right now. So, yeah, I agree. So that is Unit 1. Unit 1 was all about friendship and relationships. Unit 2 is all about appearance, clothing, how we look. And so we will start Unit 2 on Wednesday. So any questions before we finish today?
No.
No.
Okay, well, stay safe. It's great to see you. If you have any questions, you can just send me an email or a text anytime, and I will see you, and hopefully Christina will be back on Wednesday. Okay?
Okay.
Great. Take care.
Thank you.
Take care. See you.
Bye.